What is your full name and why were you named that?
My name is James Daniel Cumberland. I was named after James Saul Hinton, who is my dad's mom's dad, Papa Hinton. Daniel comes from the Bible, and then obviously my last name Cumberland.
So the second question is, were you named after someone else?
Nope, just my grandfather and Daniel in the Bible.
Did you have a nickname when you were growing up? If so, what is it and why were you called that?
And the only thing I was called growing up was Dan, and then later on it became Jimmy Dan for James Daniel.
Question 4. Have you had any other nicknames as an adult?
As an adult, the only ones I've had is Cucumber. I've had Jimmy Dan.
You have to explain all of these too.
JD, I will. Cucumber comes from the last name Cumberland. Everybody always says Cucumber. James, the short name for James is Jimmy, and Daniel, short for that, is Dan. So people would either say JD or Jimmy Dan.
Okay, question 5. What do your family members call you now?
Dan, Daniel. Mom and Dad call me Daniel. Mark and Bo, my brothers, call me Daniel. But most everybody else calls me Dan.
When and where were you born?
Born in Jackson, Mississippi in 1986.
Question 7. When you were baptized, what was your religion?
I was Southern Baptist when I was baptized.
When were you baptized?
I was baptized in 1996.
What was the religion of your parents and your grandparents?
Well, my mama and papa, Granny and papa on mama's side were Methodist. Mimi and Pee were Baptist. Mom and Daddy were Baptist.
What church, if any, do you attend now?
Right now, just kind of seeing how it goes. I went to Mountain Springs last week. We've been going to Fellowship Baptist. So just kind of wherever feels like home.
What church do your parents and grandparents attend?
My grandparents go to First Baptist Byram. I'm not real sure where my mom and daddy go. We used to go to Griffith Memorial, but they don't go there anymore. I don't know where they go to now.
Where was your first home?
My first home was on Carlton Street in Jackson, Mississippi.
And what other places have you lived?
I have lived 425 Tiffany Lane, right outside of Byram, about a mile from where we used to go to church. And I lived there from the time I was 5 until I was 18. When I left for the military is when they moved down to Brookhaven.
What were your earliest memories of your home?
Earliest memories of my home, the first one, were probably since I was old enough to remember. We used to have a lot of rocks getting thrown in the windows, and people were driving by and shooting, and a lot of fights, and it was just kind of a bad part of town. That's what I remember most about that house. And it was haunted, big time haunted.
Could you tell me a story or any memory of your brothers and sisters, or just your brothers?
Yes, I would love to tell some memories about my brothers. Mark, who is my middle brother, he is 38. Bo, my middle brother, he'd be 43. My oldest brother. Mom used to work. She'd be going all day long. And Dad was a truck driver, so he was going all the time. Well, Mark, Bo never messed with me a whole lot. Mark used to mess with me a lot. Bo never would. But Bo used to mess with Mark. Mark was probably 11, 10 years old. And Bo would tell Mark, he would say, I need you to take your underwear off and run to the mailbox and back butt naked. And as soon as you get back, we'll let you in. So Mark would strip down naked and just act all giddy, and he'd run out to the mailbox, and Bo would lock him out of the house all day long. So many a days, Mama would come home from work, and Mark would be out there butt naked, and he had been out there all morning, and he would fall for it every single time. A lot of times, we'd be in the swimming pool, and Bo would tell Mark to take his pants off and throw them on the roof, and Mark would do it, and he'd be locked outside again all day long butt naked. Bo used to come home way past curfew, and Dad would get real mad at him. One time, Mark egged a cop car, and so they turned the corner and put it in park, cut the lights on or off, but they held their foot on the brake, so the cop pulled up beside them because they saw the brake lights on, and Dad was livid that night. I remember that night.
What are the full names of your brothers?
Tommy Keith Cumberland Jr. is Bo, and John Mark Cumberland, that's Mark.
What did your family do for fun when you were a child?
When I was a kid, Dad was gone a lot. Mom, before or I guess it would be after she worked, she took care of us a pretty good bit. And a lot of the things we would do for fun, most kids today, they go out and they get to go here, there, and yonder. But we did a lot of things for free. We would go picnicking a lot. We'd go to the park a lot, just have a picnic. And we'd play board games, or we'd play hide and go seek at the park. Did a lot of stuff like that for free. And it was real fun. We had a lot of fun. We'd make tuna fish sandwiches, and we'd go to the park and fish or whatever we could do for fun.
Was there a chore you really hated doing as a child?
Not really. I never minded doing a whole lot of chores. My grandfather, we would have to get up sometimes early in the morning and go out there and pick butter beans. And the one thing I hated then, but I don't mind it now, we used to have this big 10-gallon tub, and that thing would be filled with string beans. And so some Friday nights, we'd be snapping beans all night long, or shelling butter beans and stuff like that. Really wasn't a big fan of that growing up, but I kind of like it now.
What kinds of books did you like to read?
My favorite book in the whole world is called The Outsiders. That is my favorite book I've ever read.
Okay. Question 19. Do you remember having a favorite nursery rhyme or bedtime story, and what was it?
Dad used to read every now and again, and he read, I think it was called Silly Billy, I think is what it was. And I think that's probably one of my favorite ones, Silly Billy.
I'm going to skip that question. What were your favorite childhood games?
My favorite childhood games, board game wise, was Candyland, hands down. Big fan of Candyland. But other childhood games that I thoroughly enjoyed were, we used to go out at night at 10 o'clock at night and play hide and go seek. At 10 o'clock at night, it was real fun. We had fun. We was out there all night long just about it. All right, well, that's it for me.